Welcome, everyone, to our show, Get to Know Your Neighbor. I'm your host, Cameron Geesaman with Geesaman Homes. Our goal with this show is to introduce you to amazing neighbors of Fishers, Indiana. If you're new to our show or have seen an episode, you can catch us live each week on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7:30. Please make sure to click below, leave a message on where you're watching from. We would also really appreciate if you click the like button and share this video with a friend that might also enjoy our episode or is someone you would recommend us interview. We're trying to build kind of from week to week, try to decide who we're interviewing, so that would help us as well. If you're watching this as a replay, either on Facebook or YouTube, please make sure to follow or subscribe to get notified when we post more videos. Tonight, our guest is Courtney Andrus. She and her husband, Jason, own Pure Eatery on 116th Street, which serves from scratch meals and has kind of a fun vibe with local art. They also own Pearl Street Pizzeria on Oleo, where they serve artisan style pizza, hot sandwiches, and salads. They also have a wide selection of local microbrews on tap. Adam was really excited to try some of those out. We love Pure Eatery. Honestly, we hadn't tried Pearl Street before, but we were super excited to hear about another local pizzeria. We tried a variety of pizzas and they were all awesome. They are truly locally owned and operated in Fishers, and I can't wait to learn more. So please welcome Courtney Andrus. Hi, Courtney.
Hello. Hi, Cameron.
Welcome. Thank you for taking this on. I know everybody always kind of says, oh no, I don't know if I want to do it, but I really appreciate it. For everybody that's kind of tuning in, again, please make sure to, even a wave emoji helps us out. So just because we can't see who comes on, but I can see currently we have 12 people, but I don't know who they are. So make sure to wave and say hi. But Courtney, we really appreciate it. I'm really excited about kind of learning about both restaurants and kind of sharing with all of our viewers what they're about and the differences and stuff like that. So we'll kind of just dive right in. So our first question for tonight is, what made you want to own or move and or own a business in Fishers?
Yeah. So I just real quick, I have to correct you, and I'm sorry. My husband is Dave. So my husband's name is Dave, and we have a partner in Pure, and his name is Jason.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. People oftentimes, I usually spend a lot of time in the Fishers location, and Jason spends his time in Fountain Square, and so oftentimes people assume that we are the husband and wife. So
I did.
But I figured I should say that in case anyone says, did she get remarried? Because I thought her husband's name was Dave.
Well, tell Dave I'm trying to rename him.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
sorry.
That's okay. I just thought I'd say it. So back to your question. So we actually lived downtown Indianapolis for a few years, and that's where we met. And after having our daughter in 2008, we knew that, we wanted a house with a yard and all of those things. And so in 2000, it took till 2014, and we moved up to Fishers. And it was, it was the yard and the neighbors and the neighborhood and the school districts. I think everybody can agree that, it's nice to be in a good school district. So that's kind of what brought us here. I'm from Kokomo originally, and my parents and my grandparents were generous enough to move this direction. So they landed in Fishers. And so it was the logical place for me to land too, so I could get grandma nearby. So
I get that. I understand that. So really, so you had the stores there, but then didn't have anything here. So it's not like the restaurants moved you here to a certain
Yeah. So we moved here in 2014, and then in 2015 is when we opened the Pure Eatery in Fishers. So it was just
I
a year.
remember that.
Yeah.
I was really excited.
Yeah, I don't think we knew when we moved here that we would necessarily open a restaurant, but once we got up here, we were just, we fell in love with the downtown area and really got excited to consider doing that, and it seemed to be a good fit for us, so we did.
I was excited just because it was locally owned. And, the first time we went in there, I love the scratch, the cleaner ingredients. Like, I was really excited about that because there's just not that in Fisher's as much.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I would say in 2015, there's maybe a little bit more now, but there's not a ton.
Yeah, for sure. It's a growing trend, and it continue, which is awesome, right? I mean, it's great to have more options. So
Absolutely. Okay, so second question then, tell us kind of where the concept then came for Pure Eatery, and even the pizzeria, like what came about?
So Pure Eatery actually was opened in Fountain Square in 2010, and my sister-in-law, so my husband's twin brother's wife, she created Pure Eatery. It was her brainchild and her baby. It was more of a walk-up sandwich shop, order your food and sit down. There was no alcohol or anything in it. She chose Fountain Square, and at first we were kind of thinking, you're a little crazy for opening in Fountain Square, because it was just not what it is today.
Yeah.
But she had a vision for it. And so she spent 2 years and ended up moving to South Carolina. They were having a child and wanted to be near her family. So they moved, and we took it over from them and kind of morphed it into a full service restaurant. We added the bar, the liquor license, of course, came, along with that, and turned it into what it is today, which is, you can go and grab dinner, you can have lunch, in Fountain Square, you can come in until 3 a.m. And there are lots and lots of people who do that. So it's past my bedtime now, but so it's a late night spot too. So it's kind of different in that it's a place where you can hang out and you can drink and you can hang out with your friends and eat healthy food instead of burgers and fries. Yeah. So she was, like you had mentioned, the trend has moved in that direction, of course, and there's so many more, locally sourced, fresh ingredients restaurants that have opened since then. But in 2010, she really was ahead of her time, and she had a passion for that. And so we're thankful that she did. And so we kind of just built on what she created, I guess you could say. And it's unique in that you can, we have DJs, we have live music sometimes, the Fountain Square location has a very pubby feel.
Okay.
There's one is a little different. They're similar menu, but not the exact same.
Oh, okay.
A very different clientele, which is great.
Okay.
I think it just goes to show you that, people can appreciate that type of food no matter what, where you're at or what your phase of life is, so we don't have the 3 a.m. drinkers very often in Fisher's, but
it is open later though, because I've gone there later to enjoy a glass of wine with friends.
Yeah. So we were at 1 a.m. Until 1 a.m. I'm sorry. We are closed earlier now, just after trying to get reopened and seeing gauging everyone's interest in going out. And so we have shortened our hours. Right now, we're only open until 9 p.m. Okay. But the bartenders will always stay. So if they have people there hanging out, enjoying themselves, then they'll stay there and let you enjoy yourself. But yeah, we did a lot of happy hour crowd in Fisher.
Yes. I bartended for a short stint, and I will tell you, we stayed as long as there were drinkers.
Yeah. You got to stick around. Yeah, that's where the money's made.
Right. Does Fisher's allow you, even if you could stay up until 3? Like, is that even an option?
It is. We actually tried it because when we started doing it in Fountain Square, people thought it was crazy, and it worked. And so we said, okay, we're going to do it in Fisher's. And my husband and I, being that we had lived here, and we had a child, and we kind of knew, that's not as common when you get older and have children. You don't stay out that late. Or if you do, you pay for it. So we tried it, and it didn't take off, and in our business, we have to balance the staff and what they need and want, and so we tried it, but we do get, we get people there till 1 a.m., but much past 1, and most people are headed home. So
Yeah. It's all of us moms that are literally like trying to pull ourselves.
yeah, trying to stay out. Yeah.
To get up with the kids early. I'm past that stage. My kids can get up and I will stay in bed.
Yeah. That's a beautiful stage, right?
Yes.
You get
I
to sleep
was very hopeful for that
in.
faster.
Yeah.
So what are the differences then between, like, from a food standpoint? If I like the Pure Eatery and Fisher's but happen to be down at Fountain Square, is
Mhm.
it still kind of that clean approach?
Oh yeah, it's all the same. It's all the same. When I say the menu is different, I just mean there's different. We kind of joke because in Fountain Square, there's a lot of focus on vegan dishes. So we have a few more vegan options there than we do up in Fisher's because they just don't sell. Up in Fisher's, the focus is a lot more on low carb, gluten free, paleo. Yeah, so we go a little heavier on our salads and we offer some seafood. Fountain Square doesn't have as much of a dinner business because it's more of a lunch late night spot. So they don't, we have an amazing like balsamic salmon on our Fisher's menu, and we just don't do it in Fountain Square because it doesn't sell as much. So it's all the same. We make all of our sauces, all of our dressings. Everything's made from scratch every day, and so that's all the same. It's just what the menu leans toward is a little bit different between the two locations. So,
Gotcha. That's good to know though, because if I am, even with vegan, you can still have certain stuff that is paleo or Whole30 or all that, or gluten free.
yeah.
Because a lot of vegans are gluten free.
Mm-hmm.
As it's progressed. So that's good to know if I'm down in that area. And I have to admit, for those of you that aren't familiar with Fountain Square, it's such a cute little area. It's really come along and just is a really great area. I'm glad that you got in when it was, because now it's almost hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and kind of circling back to your original question, what brought us to Fisher's, I think, Fountain Square was one of those areas where we saw, Amy, my sister-in-law, originally saw the potential, but then we saw it as well. We saw it growing and thriving, and the city was investing dollars into the sidewalks and the infrastructures. And the same thing was going on in downtown Fisher's when we moved here. And that's kind of where we got the idea. We looked in Carmel, we looked in Zionsville, we looked a lot of different places, but Fisher's just really seemed alive and vibrant, and like there was money being invested in the infrastructure, which always helps a restaurant and brings traffic. And so that's kind of how we landed in downtown Fisher's.
Oh, good. It was honestly starting to kind of pick up steam and was really, one of those good areas. I'm glad that you saw that. It sounds like watching it kind of transition.
Oh my gosh, it's changed so much just in the 5 years that we've been there. It's, you drive down now and the construction is everywhere, which no one likes, but you see the problem.
My sister, actually, she just made a comment. Sounds delicious. There's my sister. She's in Avon, and it's funny because she was trying to get to Fisher's, and she was like, the traffic is horrible and it's bad and all of that. But it's one of those where I try to tell people, I know it's bad. Carmel was really bad when they were doing all their roads. It will get better.
Yeah. Just give us time for all the roundabouts. We'll get there.
Right. It'll be okay. So then that brings me to the next question, because we kind of Pearl Street, and there's a lot of pizza places. And so what made kind of you as a team want to go that direction, and what sets Pearl Street apart from like other pizza places? I felt it, but kind of for our viewers who are out there kind of looking.
Yeah. So, oddly enough, my husband and I opened Pearl Street the same time that Pure Eatery was being opened. So within months of each other, they opened Pure Eatery and we opened Pearl Street.
Wait, so two brothers, twins.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I have twins. So this is really
20 twins. Yeah.
Yes. So the two brothers, one opened Pure Eatery and one opened the Pearl Street?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So which, it's funny because they both begin with P and everybody's like, oh, it's like when you name your kids, that wasn't what happened. It was a coincidence. But so in 2010, again, so my husband and I were longtime service industry people, bartenders. That's where we met. And a friend of his dad made pizzas out of this small little hole in the wall bar on the south side. And Larry is his name. And he wanted to get his pizzas out to more people, but he wasn't really in a spot or had the energy to start his own business. So we kind of teamed up with him, and we used his dough and his sauce recipes. And we brought his pizza to downtown Indianapolis. And my husband had owned a bar previously that we had sold. And so we knew we wanted to get back in the business. We just weren't really sure exactly how, but we wanted a family friendly place. We had a daughter at that time. So I said, okay, we can do one more, but we have to be able to we got to be able to take our kid in there. So yeah. And there's a little spot in the alley. Anybody that's been to the downtown Pearl Street, it's in an alley, and everybody said it'll never work. And why would you be in an alley? But we walked past that spot. It was vacant, and it just felt right. We felt like, anytime you go to a large city, there's always a little spot in the alley that, the locals know about and hopefully becomes the thing. And so that's kind of what we thought. And we used Larry's recipes. He came on board for a little while and taught us everything basically that he knows. And since then we have evolved and kept a lot of the same recipes, but built on those and created what we are now. And I think you're right. There's a lot of pizza places, especially in Fishers, right?
I know, right? Yeah.
I think what makes Pearl Street different is it is a pub. It's a pizzeria and pub. So of course we're not even gonna, put ourselves in the realm of the fast food pizza places. That's not the same. There are some other pizzerias. But I think for us, what sets us apart is the fact that it feels like a pub. You can come in and use it as your watering hole, or you can bring your family in. You can watch a game. The one in Geist that we opened, it's been 2 years now. We have a private dining room, so we have tons of rehearsal dinners and birthday parties and all kinds of stuff like that. So I think it's kind of a good combination between like your local pub, which is what we started as and what we want to be, and kind of dressed it up a little bit when we came to Geist and created more space for family dining and big event gathering. So.
Well, and you, like I was scrolling because as I was kind of researching and looking at stuff on which for anybody that's watching, Courtney has, or Pearl Street and Pure Eatery have like Instagram pages, and you are posting. Like I was kind of like, oh man, why didn't I know about Pearl Street sooner? Because you do events and you do like fun things. And I took pictures of like your flights and like all this stuff that I'm like, we've got to get the word out because it's just so much fun stuff that I didn't know about, and I'm excited about.
Yeah, thank you. I know we had talked briefly and I said something about the bourbon and you said, what, you guys have bourbon? And yeah, my husband's a bourbon lover, and it's always been, so when we started downtown in 2010, we were one of the few and first places to have a really robust micro brew. We had 16 taps and they were all micro brews, local. And that was kind of a big draw for us. And of course, as time has progressed, there's tons of places that have a lot of local brews, but we try to really keep them revolving, and we, pick unique ones and try to get feedback from people. But in addition to that, we wanted to make sure, at least definitely in Geist, that we kept a really nice selection of bourbon for all the ladies and gentlemen out there that like bourbon. I'm not a bourbon drinker, but
nope. And Adam's tried to give me like different things to mix it with, or to try to, it's just, he says it's an acquired taste. I'm not acquiring it.
Yeah. I I had a couple Jim Beam days in my college youth, and that's enough to make me not want to drink bourbon anymore.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Adam was really excited though. He actually ended up, because we had an earlier dinner, so he didn't get bourbon. He had a microbrew, but
Always time for bourbon.
Well, you would agree with that, yes. But we were just excited, and I think that that's what I loved even more as I delved into the different aspects of both restaurants, is really the focus of really bringing more value than just we're a pizzeria or we're, an eatery, right? Like there was just more to it.
Yeah, I've never phrased it that way, but I appreciate that, because I think you're right. That's literally what we try to do. I don't, like I said, I've never really thought of it like that, but I think you hit the nail on the head. I mean, we spend a lot of time trying to bring people what they like and bring them something different, maybe that they haven't tried before. Our wine lists, we try not to, fill with grocery store wine. Not that there aren't great ones, but we just try to think, we sprinkle some in because you have to, but yeah, when it comes to beer, we have a mug club, so you can pay $50 for a lifetime membership. You can get a t-shirt and you get a mug club card. And then anytime you come in, you get to drink out of a 20-ounce mug for the cost of a 16-ounce pint. So that's kind of fun.
That's huge.
Yeah. And then we try to do, like, at least quarterly, we'll do a mug club gathering, and we'll put out some food and just get people together that want to chat. And so we try to get feedback from our mug club members on what they want to see on tap. And it's a fun way to involve people.
That's so
we
good.
do, just to rattle up, we do trivia. We just did Schitt's Creek trivia last night.
Oh,
which was
what was that?
You watched Schitt's Creek?
No, I don't.
No. It's awesome. It's Netflix. Yeah. Oh my gosh. If you like comedies, it's hilarious. Yeah.
Schitt's Creek?
Schitt's Creek. It's SCHITT.
Oh.
So
I'm just saying it's Schitt's Creek. I will have to check that out. And so you did trivia night there?
Yeah. So twice a month on Mondays we do trivia, and it's a real low key. We just call it out, and everybody whoever wins gets a gift card. And we have usually anywhere from 6 to 12 teams that'll come and play, and it's a lot of fun. It's something to do on a Monday night. So
I think that's great. I think you're building we talk in real estate about, like a story brand or building a story. And I think that I'm going to relate that to that. Like you're building a story within what the brand is, which I think is where really restaurants and companies and things are going to, and you're doing it, locally, which I love, so I'm excited. Now it's hard because you try to follow as many people as you can. And so when I started following, like, I'm just excited about seeing like trivia night and stuff like that, to be able to, like you said, you can bring your kids. We took our kids, and
kids come to trivia. I mean, we
Harry Potter trivia night for kids.
Yeah. We did Disney. So we did all the Disney movies for kids. And then what was it? We did another more kid. For 4th of July last year, we did kind of like, are you smarter than a 5th grader? So we asked like 5th grade, government and U.S. history questions that none of us could remember.
None of us could answer.
Yeah, that was interesting.
That is awesome.
Yeah, so it's a good time. I think, like you said, as we grew, we wanted to, it's important to be consistent with your menu and consistent with your food and your service, but we learned quickly between Fountain Square and Fisher's that they're very different demographics, and that's okay. It's important to kind of embrace the neighborhood that you're in. And so I think that's what we've done in Geist too. We tried to take the best of downtown Pearl Street and bring it up here, but then we incorporate all kinds of, neighbor fun, kids, everything. So yeah.
I think that's good though. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I think that's good to do, because that means that you're thinking further than just my brand that's in Fountain Square. It works, and so we're not changing it. You know what I mean? I think that's where businesses fail. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, not to say there weren't some lessons learned. There definitely were. And, some being married to your business partner, there's lots of conversations and debate.
And Dave.
Jason and I'm kind of married to both of them, but yeah. So there's debates that are had and ideas fly around, but I think it makes us a good team because we all kind of joke that I am the demographic for Pure Eatery and Fishers. I kind of
So am I.
So right, we both are. So sometimes I say, well, I think I kind of know what people want because I kind of am them, and they laugh, and we have a good joke about it. But it's true. You gotta see what people want, and it's fun too. It's fun to have the ability. When you're a franchise, you kind of have to stick to the script, and so it's fun to build a brand that you can change and try not to change too much, but change enough. So
right. I'm going to pause for just a second to remind everybody to make a comment. There's been a few comments, and I wanted to remind, I posted on Instagram and on Facebook that she's doing a giveaway. So for anybody that's watching, it is a progressive giveaway. So what happens is that you have to watch the episode of us talking to then answer the question, because the question is based on something that we've talked about. But Courtney's been so kind to offer up a $20 gift certificate to Pure Eatery and $20 to Pearl Street. So that's just a special treat in my mind. Like, you can, for all of the ladies out there, you can get out of the house and take a girlfriend, and you two can enjoy a meal at both places. If you're a guy and you want to leave, my thought is that whoever wins, the wife gets the Pure Eatery. She's going to take her girlfriend and drink some wine, and the guy's going to take the Pearl Street and go for some bourbon and some pizza.
Sounds good.
Right? I think that works out really well. So anyways, I just wanted to let you guys know that we are going to have that giveaway. So make sure to stay tuned as we kind of talk. One of the questions that I've asked or that something that we've talked about will come up. So, and if you're just joining, this is Courtney Andrus with Pure Street Eatery and getting it wrong.
It's a tongue twister. Pure Eatery and Pearl Street.
Thank you. I was practicing actually earlier today because I was like, I'm going to mess it up. See, and I did. Because I get too excited. So I know that we're probably got some people that maybe aren't watching right now, but maybe are watching later, that are thinking about possibly opening their own restaurant. And I know that that can be a huge challenge, especially with what we're dealing with today, but just in general of opening a restaurant. So what advice would you give them, that maybe you've learned? Because you just mentioned that, you've learned and you've had some mistakes, but what would you say that you would give advice for them for opening a restaurant?
So my number one advice would be to work in one, to be
I agree with that.
Yeah, I think everyone should have to be a server for
100%.
a month.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think being a business owner, a lot of people open businesses and they don't have to have the experience. It's like making widgets. But I think to be a successful restaurant owner, it's important that you have been in the restaurant business. You've been a bartender, been a server, been a chef. That would be my first, I guess, piece of advice, because there's so many ins and outs and you're working so closely with your staff that it helps if you understand where they're coming from. Yeah. And I think my second piece of advice would be to surround yourself with a great team. It's a super high energy business, long hours, long days, and you just can't do it all. So the burnout level is pretty high, I think. And so it's important. That's one thing that we have done, and what we have is we have an amazing team. We have managers in each location that have been with us for years, and thankfully, thanks to them, and they handle the day-to-day operations. We work side by side with them, whether they like that or they don't like that, but it's working for us. So surround yourself with a good team and high energy people and positive people, because it's kind of it's a business where you're putting yourself out there for tons of criticism every day. You get
So much.
feedback, whether you like it or not. And so I think having a positive, high energy team is helpful. And being that way as a person, I think too. And knowing your numbers, I would say, is probably one of the most important things. Is, a lot of people know how to cook, and a lot of people know how to make drinks, or want to open something where they can have their buddies and hang out and drink. But it's all about really like how you're spending your money and how you're delegating and using that, dedicating that money to different parts of your business, I think is it's important for sure.
I want to hit on that. Everybody needs to be a server.
Yeah.
Or work, especially from owning a business. You better have worked in a restaurant, because I served for many, many years. And I will tell you, like, everybody assumes that it's easy. First off, it is not.
It's not.
It is high energy. I always, like, it's funny when I would get home from work, because it is a high energy position, right? Because you're trying to really cater to all these people and make sure you're making the times and not making a mistake and doing all this stuff. But by the time I got home, I was just like, oh my God, I was beat. And to do that day in and day out, you know what I mean? Like, with your server and bartender, some grace.
Yeah. Give it, especially right now, give them some grace.
Oh, so much grace. And then make sure you tip them.
Yes.
Even if they didn't do a great job. Like, it's just, you know what I mean? It's hard. Our neighbor actually is he like manages or runs a bunch of, or district manager. He's going to correct me, I'm sure, because here.
Get it right.
Right, of Chili's. And we have these conversations because it's a lot of work. It's not easy. And I like your advice, because I think that can also go to any industry, right? Like if you're opening a grocery store, if you're opening you know what I mean? Know the industry instead of just doing something for fun.
Yeah. Or just because you got some money laying around.
Right.
I think that sometimes that's what happens with a lot of restaurants. Is it's a fun business. It's so fun. We get to go, and all of our neighbors, it's like it can be, I should say, like having a party every night, and you're the host, and you get to have everyone come, and everybody just rarely do people leave less happy or sober than when they came. And so it can be really fun, but it's important to kind of, keep that in check and recognize that you're there to provide the service that people are paying for, because they're spending their money with you. So yeah, being a server is, it's a lot of work. It's funny because I think, now I get a little more tired because I'm getting old, but for years it was like you said, you would work and you'd be all jazzed up, and then you'd be so exhausted. And the opposite was true for me. And I think for a lot of us is we can't fall asleep. It's like, once I get home, I have to unwind. And so that's where you hear about the server lifestyle, and that's where it comes from, is because you're so just jazzed up from a night, and the energy is almost contagious. I loved bartending. It was a ton of fun, and then, but then
joy is kind of seeing, or still being able to go in and do that for a little bit, and yet also like help other people do that. Like,
yeah. Everything's more fun when you don't have to do it, right? So when I get to go in and bartend or hang out or whatever, it's fun, right? But it's a young person's game for sure, because I can't stay awake till 3 a.m. very easily anymore. So, but the energy, it's a fun business. It's a stressful business, and the hours are long. And like I said, it's kind of putting yourself on a stage and letting everyone criticize you. I'm not a chef. I can't even imagine if that was part of my role too, because then you're not only exposing yourself from a business standpoint, but your recipe or your food, that it's a part of you, it's your art. And so that part of it can be mentally taxing, I think.
Yeah.
Social media has increased that, right? Because everybody gets to be a food critic.
Yes,
So,
I do. Well, that
yeah.
leads us to the next question of who is the person, since you're saying you're not the chef, then who designs and experiments? Because clearly, maybe not at Pearl Street, but at Pure Eatery, I feel like your menu changed. Like I've gone in with a thing that I wanted, and it wasn't on there anymore. What, who kind of is that person that does that?
Yeah. So we have had the honor of having some really great people come and stay and come and go. I had mentioned my sister-in-law. There's still the hummus is hers from 2010 when she created that recipe.
And that hummus is so good.
The hummus is amazing. Yes. So some of that's hers. We've had some really great, talented young. I wouldn't say that we've had a lot of actual chefs. We've had a couple, but really just hungry, eager culinary people who love having the freedom. We give our team the freedom to create. So that's also kind of how the menus, I had said they're not the exact same. And that's also why, because in Fountain Square, we have a couple really great guys that create their soups and their daily specials. And they have the freedom to do that. And things that stick and that people love, we put them on the menu. And that's how the menu is kind of morphed over the years. And same goes in Fisher's. If we have a kitchen manager or even a sous chef that wants to come up with recipes, and we'll put them out there. We'll put them as a daily special or a weekend. We usually do entree specials during the weekends, and then lunches we always have a sandwich or wrap or salad special. So the most popular ones make it on the menu. And then same goes for Pearl Street.
You need to go work at Pearl Street or?
Yeah. We're always yeah.
But I think that then leaves it open to be able to have, creativity and stuff, which I think is really good. I'm going to go back to the hummus only for a second because I have tried to make hummus, and I'm not asking you to give me a recipe, but do you soak your chickpeas and actually then peel them and go through that whole process? Because it's a lot to make hummus.
It is a lot. It's a lot. Yes, we soak the chickpeas. We use a food processor, and we literally just use whole ingredients. There's nothing in it that's not
so good.
Yeah.
I just sat in front of a bowl of chickpeas and pulled the peel off of all of them.
Yeah, and I never even liked hummus until I started eating Pure Eatery hummus, and now I still don't love hummus when I buy it at the store, but when I go to Pure, I love it every time. So
thank you to your sister.
Yeah. Yeah. So
keep her.
Right. I know.
Yeah. Did they move to go open a Pure Eatery then where they moved?
They did not. No. Aww. No, they didn't. They moved to South Carolina and had their first child, and they had both been in the restaurant business for a long time too, and they were ready to make a change. So
I understand that. So do your girls do they get really excited about going in? Do they like it? Do you think that they're going to take over?
Well, they do get excited. Actually, my oldest one has asked 4 times this week if we could have Pearl Street, and she loves the calzone. And every time we're like, no, only because we eat there a lot. We eat there every day. So we ate it last night, but they love it. The Nutella sandwich. I don't know. I know your kids are gluten-free, but the Nutella and strawberry sandwich at Pure Eatery is to die for, and kids love it. It's basically like a chocolate.
You eat gluten-free. So for any of my gluten-free, I have been very impressed because I will admit, when I talk to you, they're always like, it's hard for me with pizza places because a lot of the stuff we can't eat. So when I was talking with you and you said it had a cauliflower crust or you had a gluten-free, that wasn't, sorry for anybody that likes Udi's. I'm not a big Udi's fan. I like more of the artisan. And so when you said that, I was really excited because it's just another place that we can go. But you also have gluten-free bread at Pure Eatery, so you can still do that sandwich, right?
We do. It's a bun though. So I don't know how it would translate with the Nutella. But I mean, it's Nutella. You can't really go wrong, right?
You can't.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you know native breads?
I do. Yeah, I do. I've actually been in contact with her a couple times, but we haven't ever worked anything out. But yeah, she does a good. Have you had her gluten-free?
Yeah. We buy Canyon Ridge at Target. I don't know how it would work to get but that's a better bread because it's a little bit more squishy than Udi's that is a cardboard box. I hate to say that for anybody that likes Udi's. I'm really sorry. It's just awful.
Yeah.
So they have a gluten-free bread, different breads like oat breads and stuff that are just better than your traditional like big box, but it's hard because you guys have to order through kind of those like local distributors, right? Is that
I think actually when I spoke with her, she does distribute or we can pick it up. But I think it's the shelf life for us that maybe prevented us. Just we have to order in such bulk, or with gluten-free, you don't know exactly how much you'll go through. So
I will say hers
is an expensive way to go too.
Yeah, hers freezes really well. Typically, I will buy a few loaves, throw it in the freezer, and do a half a loaf at a time.
Oh, yeah.
Just as a heads up. I don't know if you have the freezer space, but
I was going to say we have a freezer that's about this big.
Oh, yeah. The whole loaf of bread.
Our lick ice cream in it.
Right? Like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Well, I am excited. They will absolutely love that. They love Nutella. So, yeah, we're going to have to.
Yeah, I try to tell them that it's, you can't eat Nutella every day, but it's a really good sandwich. So
they don't just make it at home?
I don't. I try not to buy Nutella at home because it just gets eaten. Like it's just gone all of a sudden. I'm like,
that is like me and like peanut butter. Like you literally open peanut butter and in 2 days the whole jar's gone. You're like, seriously?
Yeah.
Putting it on.
They're like just dipping and eating.
I'll go in there and they'll have this gigantic bowl and don't get me wrong. It's an avenue to enjoy celery. So at least they're getting celery. Is there really any benefit to celery?
Actually, my daughter just told me tonight that it's -5 calories.
I'm sorry, that's great.
Because it takes 5 calories to eat it and it has no calories. I think that's the equation that she came up with. So, so there you go.
Keep eating my celery and go in the negative. The problem is that when you're putting peanut butter on it, it's now not -5.
Yeah.
We've now increased.
I've been corrected. It takes 5 calories to digest celery, not to eat it.
Oh.
So anyway, carry on.
Daughter.
That's my daughter over there.
How old is your oldest?
She is.
I love it.
She is 11 and a half, almost 12.
That's our twins.
And she will not be taking over the restaurants, I don't think. I do have a younger one.
Hopefully not.
She said. I have a younger one who's 7, and she might be.
Yeah.
She's a roll your sleeves up and get your hands dirty type of girl. So
I'm sure they're going to be working.
Oh yeah, yeah. My oldest is asking often if and when she can go into work, and so she wants to be employed.
Now you have to be 15, right?
So you have to be 15, to host. You have to be 19 to serve alcohol, so to get a liquor license. So,
hey, Mom, but since I'm your daughter, I don't need to be.
So all of your servers then are 19 or older then.
We have a couple that are not, and in Geist, and they can't carry alcohol. So if you're ever in there and you notice that someone else is bringing your alcohol, that's why. Yeah,
alcohol. Yeah, that's what happened yesterday. I think
we've had some rock. We've had some rock star hosts that we had to promote to servers just because they're fantastic. So even if they can't carry alcohol, we wanted them on the team. So. Yeah,
sure, absolutely. I will be sending you all of my children.
Yeah,
it's a lot to hire them. Don't hire them.
It's a lot easier to find a high schooler in Geist than it is to find a 22-year-old. So that's one of the challenges that we have up here. I think for sure is
is finding that. So for the giveaway, I want to come to that before we start losing people, because that sometimes happens as we get closer to the end.
Yeah.
So we're going to ask a question. This is how the giveaway works. Adam has been listening, the producer. I try to call him our producer. He's been listening to Courtney and I's conversation, and he has picked a question that I'm going to ask here in a second. Oh, you get our puppy in the background. And how it works is I'm going to ask the question, and then the first person to respond in the comments below wins the $20 gift certificate to Pearl Street and $20 to Pure Eatery. I will get those from Courtney and then arrange to get them to you. So you just have to answer the question correctly. So, and I hate to say this, but I don't even know if I know the answer, because I was thinking of the question when I think you answered it. So the question that Adam picked out, though, is what year did Pure Eatery open in Fishers? I do now remember, because I remember when it opened, because it's right down the street from my parents, and like walking distance, and it's such a good place. And we'll just kind of see who answers correctly. While we're waiting for the answer, let's try to give everybody where they can follow you, or how can we support you? What does that look like for you?
Yeah, obviously you would thank you for mentioning we have lots of active social media. So you can find us on Instagram and Facebook. That's where you'll find information about our events, like trivia. We do bourbon nights, or bourbon dinners, I should say. So we do a lot of fun stuff at Pearl Street, and you can find all of that on our Facebook. You can go to our website, so you can order online now from our website, which we're excited about. You can also make reservations, which we're encouraging right now. You can do all of that on our website as well.
So there's Pearl Street, and then there's also the Pure Eatery has a website. Adam's showing the Pearl Street one right now. So if somebody wants to order, they can go to there, and it's order for pickup, right? You don't have delivery.
So we do offer delivery through, if you order online, it's delivery through DoorDash, which we are, if I can give a little plug, we are encouraging that. As a lot of people may or may not know, third-party deliveries are super, super expensive for restaurants. So we do also offer Grubhub and Uber Eats, which are very expensive for us. So if you order through our website, it's going to help us out more. So go on our website, hit order online, and then you can choose carry out or delivery.
Please do that, everybody. It's one of the things that we've been talking to a lot of people about. I don't want to like discredit Grubhub or any of the different avenues, but especially for a small business, a locally owned place. At the end of the day, it is expensive. There is cost that goes into that. And so if you love Pure Eatery or Pizzeria or Pearl Street, like order from their website and help them just a little bit, as much as you can. So we do have a winner. I think you know this person, actually.
I do know this person.
She and I actually went to high school. So it's good to see Angela. I'm actually kind of glad that you got it, because I know that you'll absolutely fully enjoy it. I only have one request, is it has to be when you go, I can't really request this, but I'm gonna, because I know you. It has to be you, me, and Kelly that goes to Pure Eatery. So Angela, that
can I go too? Can I come too? I won't use your gift card.
No, you can't go, Courtney. It's your own restaurant, but we don't want you there. No.
Yeah, I just want to drink some wine with you.
Yes. Angela, I won't use any of your gift card. You just have to invite me. But she's good friends actually with, is that how you met Kelly? Or how do you know the last person that, or a couple times that, how many times ago was it? A few guests ago, Kelly.
Yeah.
And that's actually who referred you. So I really appreciate that. But how do you know Kelly?
I know Kelly because her daughter is in my daughter's Girl Scout troop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we met.
That's probably a good group.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
It was Kelly. We have a lot.
And Angela was my neighbor. She used to be my neighbor. She moved, but.
Nice. My husband just showed me that Kelly is watching. So Kelly, I invited you as well. You have to comment to be invited because you haven't said anything. Oh, there it is. I created my own watch party. Yes. Thank you, Kelly. That's okay. Yeah. See, there's so many connections. It's crazy how, all the different things kind of line up and how people. When I showed up at a big party at Kelly's house and a high school, friend from high school was there, I was like, oh. It's kind of crazy how it works. So to get back on track, make sure that you order from her website so that you can hopefully at least save, because I think that it really is about that. And that's part of the reason why I'm doing the show too, is just to really bring awareness. I don't think a lot of people know that. So I think it's good that you mentioned that, to truly order through a website versus directly. Again, if you want it delivered through Grubhub, then that helps. So okay, so we've answered how we can support you. The last question that we have is, again, partially because of how we do the show, is who do you think we should interview, or who would you jump on like Kelly and Angela to watch and win, possibly?
So can I name 2 people, or is it one person?
Here's the thing. We have no rules.
All right.
Again,
no rules.
Name as many people as you want.
Yeah.
Autumn. So she went to, Autumn.
Childhood. Autumn Williams-Beck. Oh gosh, I need to look at her picture. Hi, Autumn.
So Autumn is my sister-in-law, and Eric actually he's a custom knife maker and actually sharpens a lot of knives for local restaurants and knives for a lot of chefs.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Schmo. That's what she calls it. She says it's schmo, not Kokomo.
Schmo?
Schmo.
Ooh, I've never heard that.
Oh, all right. She's going to correct me. Okay. So who would you want to see on our little show?
Okay. So I have 2 people that I think would be great. One is Chris Gaffel. So he is, he's a neighbor of mine, and also I've come to start working with him a little bit. He owns a leadership consulting, I guess you could call it, business. It's K24 Solutions, and he's the owner of that. And we recently started working with him because in our businesses, we've put a lot of focus on all kinds of things, but we've never done any true leadership training.
Okay.
As we kind of turned into 2020, we decided that was something that we needed to focus on, and Chris kind of stuck out to us. And so we met with him a few times, and we're working with him through doing one-on-ones, and I do, he does a group called HR Hot Seat, which has really been interesting for me because I've never thought of myself as an HR person, but of course, in the role that I'm in, I do a lot of HR work. So he kind of coaches and helps people, build better teams. Yeah. So
yeah. Okay.
Super, super nice guy, easy to talk to. So
okay.
He would be a great guy for you to talk to.
Okay.
And then another lady who I have had the pleasure of meeting, she's not really a close friend, but I have met with her a few times and just know her through, like you said, kind of acquaintances. Her name is Janelle Dewolfe.
Okay.
She owns Studio 116 Photography, which that's not even how I found her. I found her through, she started a group called We Rise Social. And it's a group of female business owners who meet, I believe it's once a month, maybe twice a month. But she sets up basically just a really informal kind of, we do lunch sometimes, we do dinner, like lunch hour, dinner hour, depending on the day. And we just get together and kind of talk about business and being a woman in business and what kind of things we can do for each other and how we can help each other. And it's been a really cool experience. I've never really been one of those people who does a lot of networking. It's not my comfort zone. So this was like exactly what I needed because it's just super laid back and I've met some great people through it. So even during all of the shutdown and quarantine, she's done it via Zoom.
Oh,
so that's even better. I've been able to sit like with my coffee and sit and talk to these ladies. So, and then she's also an Enneagram coach, which I don't know if anyone knows anything about that, but yeah. I kind of dabbled in it a little bit, kind of read about it. What am I?
Yeah.
I knew you were going to ask that. So,
I into Enneagram. Like you just literally spoke like, okay, if she's watching.
Yeah. She's amazing. She is like the brightest little light. I mean, every time I see her, meet with her, talk to her, she's just so sweet and so helpful and always out looking for ways to lift everyone else up. And so the Enneagram is part of that, but there's a lot of other parts of her too that does all of that. So I think Janelle said that you really shouldn't go with your first test, right? But I took a test and I think I'm a 6.
Okay.
7.
Okay. I'm a 7.
Yeah. I'm not 100% sold on it, and I haven't dove in enough to know whether I'm exactly for sure, but 6 and 7 makes a lot of sense for me. So
it's hard that you can have different wings, different things. Kelly knows I'm very into Enneagram, and Jonna, who is going to be our guest on Thursday, is into Enneagram. We're going to talk about it because not that I want to turn our Get to Know Your Neighbor into an Enneagram show, but it might, because I like it so much.
Stephanie. Hi.
So it's there. You can delve in a lot. There's a lot of different Instagram followers like that you can follow, or Instagram people
Accounts.
I know. I don't know what to call them.
Accounts. Influencers.
Instagram influencers. Anyways, then there's books and stuff that you can read. I will say, at least from a perspective of learning what Adam is and what I am, and just really, I think even kind of, it's nice that you say that she's with Levi Social, but yet also does the Enneagram, because I think that could play a part in who you're hiring from a, from a,
yeah, that was I don't think course is probably not the right word. The meeting that I went to where she kind of introduced the Enneagram, that was what it was about, was kind of like finding your strengths and weaknesses as an employer. And then when it comes to hiring, finding the right fit and where you might find challenges, or how you can challenge your staff or your employees based on what their number is. So yeah,
I love that.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think it's really good. I think that it brings back again to, I think, why I've liked Pure Eatery, and why now going to Pearl Street, why I really like it, is because, again, you're focused on growing and really, learning and moving and not staying stagnant. And I will say, for all of our viewers, for me, that's huge from a restaurant perspective, because the restaurant industry, in my opinion, is shifting. And I think you're doing an excellent job.
Oh, thank you.
I was very impressed. So I really, really appreciate it. Definitely have enjoyed kind of learning, and I'm sure everybody that's watching learned a lot. I really am excited. You'll probably, funny enough, you might see Angela before I will see Angela.
I will probably see. Let me see, Angela. Friday night, maybe.
I know, right? Angela, when are we getting together? You just need to let us know, and we'll just meet you there. And Courtney will just have the gift cards for you. But I'm glad everybody kind of piped on and share. Hopefully we can spread the word of how awesome Pearl Street is and Pure Eatery is, so that we can just get more patrons coming to your restaurants. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
This was fun. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thursday, for everybody that's still on, it's going to be with Jonna Myers. She's a motivational speaker. And yes, we will probably be talking about the Enneagram. And if you watch it on any of our different platforms, either on our Geesaman Homes Facebook page or our website or YouTube. And you can catch any of those. So if you missed the beginning and want to go back and watch kind of what Courtney and I talked about, that would be great. We'll get those gift certificates from you and get them over to Angela. And I just thank you so much, Courtney. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Yes, thank you, everybody.
Thanks,
Everybody, good night. Bye.
Bye.